class. Mikheil Japaridze against Paul Ragusa in the final. Ragusa was in the 48 kilo class in Atlanta, but has had to come up in weight.
I've got to get bigger for the weight class, so I had to get bigger for the weight class. Working hard, lifting weights, just basically just trying to grow into the weight class. It's been difficult. The guys are a lot bigger and stronger, so I have to use a little bit more finesse, I guess, and speed instead of strength and size.
That's Mikheil Japaridze here in this final match of the 54 kilo class. We were talking about the fact that Ragusa was at 48 kilos in Atlanta. They no longer have that class. In fact, there were 10 classes in Atlanta, only 8 for 2000 in Sydney, in both Greco and in freestyle.
And not just in Sydney, but all world championships and national championships now. And for somebody like Paul Ragusa, it's really been a problem because he was a perfect size at 48 kilos. The difference between 48 and 54 kilos is huge. 6 kilos for these little guys, it makes a big, big difference. So he's really had to really work hard at getting bigger and stronger to be able to compete with these guys.
This is the third and final match of this best of 3. This is round number 2. They split the first 2 matches with Ragusa winning in overtime, actually, in the second match.
Well, that was a really tight match. Ragusa won it in overtime, like you said. Really sort of a controversial point. As soon as one wrestler scores 3 points in overtime, the match is over. They both scored 2 points off the same move, but the referee awarded 2 points for Ragusa first, so he won it.
Japaridze in red is quite a story. He competed for Georgia, the former Soviet Republic, at the World Championships in 1995 in Atlanta, and then stayed behind Gia Sasuri, who was a friend of his back in Georgia. Gave him a place to stay up in Montreal, and he got his Canadian citizenship just 5 days before this Olympic trial.
Well, and it's been great for both wrestlers, Gia and Misha, because they train together. It's a great training partner for Gia Sasuri, and great for Misha to be able to train with the world silver medalist.
Already, Japaridze with a huge lead in this final match, round 2, 6-0 with a minute and a half to go. Ragusa's got to get busy.
Well, Japaridze is a great technician. He's very, very skilled technically. Maybe not quite as strong as some of his other opponents, but a lot of slick maneuvers and some great experience. He's had a lot of international experience, like Ragusa. Here he's doing a great job of holding Ragusa off. He's got 6 points. He doesn't really have to take any chances. He does have to stay being aggressive and active, though, because he'll get called for passivity if he doesn't. Ragusa really has to open up here. He's got to score some points. A little bit of frustration there on Ragusa's part, perhaps, but that's not that out of the ordinary. A lot of times you try to set up your opponent by snapping the head down. So sometimes it looks like
you took a swing at him.
And I'm not so sure I agree with the referees on that one. He is trying to set his opponent up. Japaridze is backing up a lot, so he's got to try to do something to get him to come forward, and one of the ways to do that is to snap their head down. Referees didn't see it that way. They gave a passivity to Ragusa, and this really hurts Ragusa because it's very hard for him to score in this position. The real advantage is to the red wrestler on top.
You notice that Ragusa has several band-aids on his face. Cuts are not unusual, even though I know the wrestlers are checked. Their nails are checked before a competition to make sure they're not long. Is that right?
You don't get any real scratching, but you do butt heads quite often, or you hit your head on your opponent's knee, perhaps. Ragusa's got a bit of a cut on his eye from a headbutt earlier on. Here he's trying to score. Now, it's a little bit hard to tell what the scoring's going to be on that particular move because it was so close. It all depends on who initiated the move, who countered the move. It looked like they probably would give 3 points for Ragusa and 2 points for Japaridze, but we won't know for sure until this flurry of activity is over.
You can hear the coaches screaming from the corners. They're allowed to do that during a match in wrestling. They can coach their wrestlers right through every point.
And Ragusa's just trying anything he can to get out of this position because he's losing. The score is 9-3.
A frustrating loss for Paul Ragusa, but a great victory for Mikheil Japaridze, who became a Canadian citizen just 5 days before these Olympic trials and has won the Olympic trial at 54 kilos.
Well, we saw where a bit of size and experience really played to Japaridze's advantage here. He had total control of the match in this last match, and especially at the end there, you know, there was not much Ragusa could do to score points there when he really needed to. Japaridze held him off and deserves to be the champion. Here we see Ragusa trying a Gabori. He tries to get Japaridze over onto his back, but Japaridze does a great job countering, holding the leg, holding Ragusa on his back, scoring 3 points in the process, and going on to win.
Winner of the 54-kilo class at the Olympic trials. Congratulations, Mikheil Japaridze. How did you feel about this performance?
Very good. I'm very happy, and I like to go there and wrestling for Canada. Just 5 days ago, I got my Canadian citizenship, and I'm very happy about it. And thank you very much. I love you, everybody.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.